What's going on, guys? Jacob Orth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas, coming to you guys with a topic that's very important to you because it involves being able to defend your life one day if you ever need to do so. So today we're going to be talking about getting your concealed carry weapons permit here in Nevada. Now this will apply to people who of course live in Nevada, but will also apply to people who live outside of Nevada in other states within the US. So if you have a permit already from a state, say like California, and your permit is not accepted in Nevada, then you can come here, take the class, do the whole process we're about to talk about, and you can get a non-resident permit to carry in Nevada. So if you're coming on vacation one weekend, hey, feel free to take a day, use it to get your permit and do all that kind of fun stuff. So we're gonna get going in this video here, and there's gonna be a few links down below for you guys to help you with some of the stuff. There's gonna be the link to Metro's website, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, because I live here in Clark County, but this video is gonna be helpful for any part of Nevada, it doesn't matter. There'll also be a link down below for concealed carry insurance. I encourage you to have that. I have that myself. And there's also going to be a link down there for a Virginia permit, which you can actually get online. So this Nevada permit you have to come and do in person, but it can be good to have a second permit, or some people get 2, 3, 4 permits, just depending on how much they travel. You can get a second permit through Virginia if you would like. I've done the online course before, and you can do the whole thing from a distance. You don't have to go to Virginia to do it. So links are down below. Be sure to check those out, after this video. So talking about getting your CCW here in Nevada, and that's the term I'm going to use, CCW. There are other terms that other states commonly use, like a LTC, license to carry, a CHL, concealed handgun license, a CPL, concealed pistol license. Even in Nevada, it's technically called a CFP, concealed firearms permit. That allows you to conceal a handgun on you, not a shotgun, not a rifle, but a handgun that you can conceal, which is obviously the opposite of open carry, which you guys have probably seen me show pictures on social media before, video of people open carry here in Nevada. You can do that as well. If you do not have a concealed carry permit, then all you can do is open carry. But if you have a carry permit, then you can carry a handgun in your pocket, in your waistband, in a jacket, in your purse, anything like that where people cannot see it. You're allowed to do that with this permit. So to get this permit, there's a few things. You have to be at least 21 and up here in Nevada, unless you're military. If you're military, then if you're 18, 19, or 20 years old, you're military, you can go ahead and get this as well. But anyone else, you have to be 21 and up. There's a background check that goes with this, okay? When you apply through the Sheriff's Department, they're gonna run a background check on you to get this permit. Now, the long and short of it is basically you have to go to a class, pass the class, apply with the police department, pass the background check, and then you will get your permit issued to you. Nevada, like most states in the US, is a shall issue state, which means if you go through the class, you pass it, you pay the fee to apply, and you clear the background check, you shall be given a concealed carry weapons permit. Other states, like California and some others, they are may issue, which means they might give you one, even if you do everything you're supposed to, even if you have a clean criminal history and all that kind of stuff, they still may not give it to you. But Nevada, like most states, you will be given a permit if you go through the process. Now, before you go through your class, I would encourage you to get training. Okay, I would encourage you to get firearms training if you're just not that familiar with handguns, or if you've never shot one at all or anything like that. I got training before I went to my class, helped me a lot when it came to actually the shooting portion of the class, and continue to get training after your class as well. I've done that too, because shooting is a skill that you can lose over time if you don't practice it. Now, going to a class, I'll put a link down below for one that, go to the link, sign up, do it there. You can tell them I sent you when you sign up for the class there. But you're gonna sign up for a class here in Nevada. And if you're brand new, the first time you go to your class here, it's 8 hours. That's what it is, it's an 8-hour day. You're gonna be in class, we're gonna talk about laws, talk about where you can and cannot carry and all that kind of stuff. If you have any questions, legal stuff, that's the place to ask it when you're there in class. They can help you out with a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, you're gonna be learning some parts of the gun too, right? You're gonna learn the mechanics of how guns operate. There is like a test that you actually go through that's made by, I believe it's the associations, like Nevada Sheriffs and Chiefs of Police. They put together a test just to see your basic knowledge and make sure you have that basic foundation of firearm understanding. They're going to go over shooting stance with you, that kind of thing, when you can and cannot use deadly force. There's going to be a shooting portion when you're in that class. You have to shoot 10 rounds at 3 yards, 10 rounds at 5 yards, and 10 rounds at 7 yards when you do this class. And you do have to shoot well enough that you pass. You don't have to be a sharpshooter, okay? You don't have to be a Navy SEAL or anything like that, but you do have to at least be able to have that foundation to pass the class. Now, after you pass your class, the instructor will sign off on a permit for you. or a sign off on your application saying that you have passed the class. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your application to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department or the Sheriff's Department, whatever county you live in here in Nevada, or whatever county you took your training in. If you're coming from another state, you will go to that department and you will apply there. They actually do have, at least here in Clark County now, where you can do it online as well. When I did mine, it was in person, so I had to take it down in person, just get a number, just like at the DMV over at the LVMPD headquarters on MLK. You just go there, you wait, call your number, you sit down, you give them your application. They're gonna look at your ID and that kind of stuff, and they'll process the whole thing. If it's your first time applying, it's going to be about $100 for the application. So the application fee is about $100. Okay, if it's your first time, and then it's going to take up to 120 days. At 120 days, they have to give you an answer. They have to process it. So it's going to take a few months for them to get your application done, at least here in Clark County. I have heard that if you live like in Pahrump, where Nye County is, because it's a smaller county, they don't have quite as many people applying, that it just takes a few weeks. But here in Clark County, we have over 80,000 people who have concealed carry permits. They have active concealed carry permits here in Clark County. So you have about 80,000+ people here who could legally be concealing a handgun on them when you're out and about throughout the day. In other counties have, thousands more too here throughout the state. So we have quite a few. We have definitely over 100,000 people who have concealed carry weapons permits here in the state of Nevada. So you're gonna apply, and you're gonna have to just wait from that point. If you have a clean background, clean history, you're gonna pass it just fine, okay? But if you have domestic violence, even if it's a misdemeanor, you're not gonna pass. If you're in the country illegally, then you're not gonna be able to pass. If you have felonies, you're not gonna be able to pass. Things like that. If you lied and say you were dishonorably discharged from the military, you're not gonna be able to pass, okay? There are things, there's a whole list of things on Metro's website that will exempt you, or actually will get you declined for the background check, but I'll just give those few right now. And when you do this whole process, it took me 100 days exactly. That's how long it took me to get my permit, exactly 100 days to the dot. So it's gonna take a few months for this whole process to take place. So your first timer, it's an 8-hour class, it's about $100 to apply. If you've had your permit for the 5 years it's valid for, you only have to do this once every 5 years, okay? So it may sound like a lot of money, the $100, but it's good for 5 years, the permit, okay? Most states, their permits are good for about 4 to 5, but it just kind of depends, okay? California, it's good for 2 years. In Florida, I think it's good for 7 years or something like that. So state to state, it varies. So the first time, it's $100, and for the application fee, 8-hour class. If you're renewing it, then it's just a 4-hour class. You basically do a refresher, you do have to shoot again, and it's about $50 for the application fee this time. But it's only once every 5 years, okay? Also, one thing you'll learn in the class, I'll put a map up on the screen here. Other states where your Nevada carry permit is accepted by other states, states do have what they call reciprocity agreements with each other, where you have a permit here in Nevada, and you can conceal in Nevada. Well, if you go down to Arizona, they will also accept your Nevada permit. So if you're going to go to Phoenix for the weekend or something, you can legally conceal your handgun on you in Arizona with your Nevada permit. But not all states. There's no one state that gets you all the states, okay? Because there are 10 states plus Washington, D.C. who honor nobody's permit. So the most you're going to get with just a single permit is 40, okay? And that's just depending on what state you live in. Some of those states that do not honor anyone's permit will give you a non-resident, but it just depends on the state. So that's why I put the link down below for the Virginia class to do it online, because it does get you a little bit more coverage for your Nevada permit, but it's also good to have as a backup in case, say, you lose your Nevada permit, you have to get it replaced. At least you have your Virginia one in the meantime to go with your Nevada one. Plus, it shows you've gotten more training. So I'm not going to give you legal advice, but one thing I've read and seen online is if you ever are in a situation you have to, use your firearm to defend yourself, defend your life, or defend someone else's life, then, showing that you've got more training is obviously a good thing if you have to go to court, okay? It shows that you are responsible. It shows that you're a responsible gun owner. So, guys, that's a pretty good wrap-up. It's a pretty good nutshell of what it takes to get your concealed carry weapons permit here in Nevada. I would like to see more people who are trained and carrying on them so they can be able to defend themselves if you ever may need it, because, sometimes bad things do happen. As much as I love living here in Las Vegas, bad things can happen sometimes. And if something does happen, you may need to be able to defend yourself in a situation you find in where your life may be at risk or the life of someone you care about may be at risk. So that's a good summary for what to do to get your Nevada concealed carry weapons permit. I may do some follow-up content about this, maybe diving a little bit deeper into certain topics, but this should be at least good enough to get you started, especially if you have no foundation, if you're totally new to firearms, anything like that. don't worry, okay? These people at gun stores, at these classes, they're very used to people who are brand new. And we all start at some point, all right? Nobody starts off knowing anything about firearms. You have to learn as you go, okay? So go ahead, check out links down below. I really encourage you to go ahead and apply right away to get your Nevada concealed carry permit, because remember, it's going to take a few months to get the whole process done. But do that, go to the class, get your permit, conceal on your person. That way you can join the 80,000+ people here in Clark County who have permits, and the 100,000+ around the state of Nevada who have permits as well. And hey, it may save your life one day. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being so awesome. Go get your concealed carry weapons permit. Links are down below. I am Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.